You're alive.
Okay, so 7:03, the meeting is commencing. Call to order. Everyone's here except for Holly, and we know Ileana and Mark can't be here tonight. Do we have any changes on the minutes from 7:28? I think we misspelled Darren's name in what section? Well, I believe it's D-A-R-Y-N. How we spell her name?
Yes.
Any other changes anyone notice? Nope. Okay. Next is, oh, do we have to vote on that? I forget. Vote on accepting the minutes.
Motion to accept.
Okay, one, Jordan, one more
Aye.
motion.
Sure.
Okay, Jordan, that's, okay, so we're accepting the minutes. And next is public participation. Anybody here tonight for that?
If there's anybody from the public who would wish to participate, please click on the raise hand icon on your Zoom or *9 if you're calling in. Nobody with their hands raised.
Okay, then we'll move on to 4 reports from boards. Norwalk Historical Society. Oh, is Diane here? No. Okay, well, we'll pass to Lockwood Matthews Mansion. We have Susan and Patsy.
It looks like Diane Jelleret is here
Okay.
as an attendee with her hand raised. Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry, yeah, okay, I just missed her. Where'd she go? Why is she not on my sidebar? Oh, there she is, okay. So we'll have Diane next. Sorry about that little mix-up. Norwalk Historical Society. You're on the air, Diane. Unmute. Oops.
Okay, now I'm here. Yes, I had to wait to raise my hand to get in. So just want to let you know we have started installation of the new exhibit. So we're very excited this week that it's actually happening. So that will probably be done within the next couple of weeks, and we're trying to decide when we're going to do an opening because we have a really full October. So it may not happen until November, early November for our opening. But in the meantime, we're transforming the townhouse. Darren is still working on going through the collection and figuring out what we need to deaccession. So that'll be coming up probably in the next couple of months about the deaccessioning and what she's found. And she's been working with Ralph Bloom on a lot of this. So this is great because she's got lots of background and information to share with us. We are, I don't know if any of you had attended our first party in the backyard of the Norwalk Museum last Friday night. It went really well, had a concert. So we'll be using the outdoors more as we're coming up next year because it's going to start getting really cold. But so everybody was pleased, and if you haven't gone back there, it's looking lovely. It's beautiful, and I'd like to thank Tulip Tree Site Design for helping working on that, and so we'll be using that facility a lot more in the future. We also did a garden party a concert in Mill Hill in August, and we'll probably do that again. Lots of people were happy to be outdoors after being cooped up for over a year. So we're going to have lots of events related to the exhibit. So we actually have 6 lectures that are going to be occurring between November and January. So just watch out for your emails, and most of them will be virtual. I think one we're going to try is a hybrid, but there's going to be lots and lots of information coming forth in the next few months. And that's what we've been working on lately. Any questions?
Diane,
Yes,
are you going to be at the museum tomorrow?
yes, I am.
Can I stop by and pick up those loaner forms?
Yep,
What time will you be there?
noon to 4 because open hours.
Okay, great. Great. I will see you sometime afternoon. Thank you.
Okay.
I just want to say I attended both concerts and they were both absolutely wonderful. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm a neighbor across the street, and Friday night I came home and I heard the wonderful music, and it was really fun I wasn't able to go, but it was fun to hear. I think it was Friday night, wasn't it?
Yep, it was Friday night. Yep, from 6:30 to 8. Yep. It wasn't too loud, was it?
No, it was really lovely.
Yeah, that's
Great.
the other thing that we're going to
I
be
sat
cautious
out,
about.
I sat out front of my building and listened.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, so we'll be having more of those.
Okay, thank you, Diane. And now back to Lockwood Matthews Mansion and Diane and Patsy and Susan.
You want to go first, Susie? You're muted.
Oh.
She-
We have Patsy, but
Yeah,
not,
she's muted.
okay.
I,
It's got a little squirrely.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear
Okay.
me now?
Yes.
Good. Thank you. So as I was saying, we've had a wonderful flea market this past weekend. I guess everybody was happy to be outdoors in the beautiful weather. It was very successful, and we also had about 180 tours inside the mansion. So the volunteers were extremely helpful. We couldn't have done it without them. And we really were very pleased with the outcome. The week before, we had collaborated with the Smithsonian Magazine on an event that they do nationwide. It's called Museum Day, where you open your museum free of charge to their members, and in turn they do a lot of national advertising for the event, so you get to be known nationally and in their magazine. And we had about 150 attendees at that event. We just opened a new exhibition in collaboration with the Stanford Art Association. It's a great exhibit on architecture and design. In December, we have a collaboration with a Westport organization called Play With Your Food, which is not a restaurant, but it's a theater company, and they bring in top-notch actors from Broadway and off-Broadway, and they do readings that are extremely entertaining, interesting, riveting, and I strongly advise you to join us in the fun. We have, and this Patsy probably will want to chime in, we have a potential licensing event, which we're negotiating right now, which may, if it happens, may shut us down for a good 6 weeks. So we had to cancel the Halloween tours, and potentially there could be other cancellations. Finally, we will have a virtual Victorian tea with a fantastic speaker who works at the Fashion Institute of Technology. She worked also at Harvard University, and she will talk about the bridging in the 1930s of art and fashion, and it should be very interesting. And that will be a virtual program. Patsy, do you want to take it from here about the potential
Why don't you
license?
tell them about the summer school program, Susie? The summer program, the student program.
So we had a collaboration with Carver, and we had several students from the Carver Foundation who came to the mansion and did a program there with us, which was wonderful, because right now, most of our programs with schools, which have been very successful, have been virtual. There's been a lot of reluctance at sending students into the museum. So a lot of it happens virtually, but we have some great docents, and we created some 360 experience at the museum, so students can really see the museum the way it looks when they come and visit. The exhibition on health has been incredibly successful. We have obtained a major grant called Kids Are Free, which was $30,000, and that allowed us, this was a program that was launched by the governor, and it allowed us to open our doors free of charge to all children in Connecticut. We have had thousands of people, and it was incredible to see all these children attending with their parents. And one child came, and she said that she always wanted to come to the mansion, but this was the first time, and she was celebrating her birthday at the mansion, and that had been one of her dreams. So we were extremely happy to see all these children really enjoying with their families this experience at the museum. Any questions before Patsy tells you a little bit more about the licensing and the construction?
No questions, I guess. I think the last meeting in July, I guess it was, we mentioned that we would be moving forward with our construction project, hopefully starting in January. We are now made the decision to delay that for a year. We are moving forward with final designs, but we have preliminary estimates, and financing has to be resolved. So we're working on that issue. There's been such an increase in costs due to COVID. I think most all of you are aware, that the industry is experiencing 30 to 40% increase between supplies and labor. So we will be open at the mansion next year. And this was just a last week decision. So Susie is charged with scrambling to create all kinds of programs for us there versus what we were intending to be doing virtually. So that's sort of big news for us, and it's consuming a lot of our time.
Is that, can I ask, is that delay based upon additional cost or additional, difficulties getting contractors or what? Or both?
Cost, Tom, it's cost. We have job meeting every week, every Monday. And we're meeting with people from Preservation Trust in Hartford, and also from Economic Department. They're part of our meeting. And so we all talked, and we felt that we needed to push it out a year to get more of our ducks in a row. So
Sure.
we're just starting to work on that.
Any idea how much more money you're gonna need? I know you didn't even have enough to start.
Quite a bit, but I don't want to come out with a figure because the figures we have are really preliminary. And we have gone out with an RFQ through the city to hire a project manager. And they have submitted their proposals just yesterday, and we're scheduling with them in the next couple of weeks. And the reason for hiring them is that they can take a much deeper dive into costs, and to also look at any potential changes in fabrics that we might be using to complete the mechanical piece. It's an extremely complicated project with going into the walls in the building. And I think I've mentioned to you before, there are no studs and no wood studs in the building. So you've got stone on the outside, 2 or 3 inches of air, and then a layer of brick and plaster on brick. So in order to get any mechanicals, the fire suppression, the heating, and additional electrical wiring into the building is extremely complicated, and not a lot of contractors have the skills to do that kind of work. So we're looking at how we can reroute things in order to save money. And this company that we hire will be charged with that process, and that could take several months. So that's where we are with that. So we're at the end of the meeting under new business. So I don't know if we jump to that now, or do we wait to talk about that at that time? Dana, what?
Why don't we jump ahead to new business for that?
Yeah, I'd appreciate it.
Save your
Believe me,
time.
I've got another meeting to go to at 8
Okay.
o'clock. So as Susie mentioned, we have an opportunity to have a film done on the interior of the mansion. We're in the middle of negotiating the terms of the agreement. So I'm not able to really go into any of the details because we do not have a signed contract. We sent out contracts today, as a matter of fact, and we are looking for your support on this project. It would be running from late October to Thanksgiving. So it's about a month of shooting. The Corporation Council has been involved in helping us, and we're working with Parks and Recs to also take care of any of the site work. So this needs to, you people will be signing. There are 3 entities that sign off on this: the mansion, you, and the mayor's office. So it has to go through you, through planning, and then to the council. So it's a tight time slot that we're working on, because they're talking about commencing October 24th or 5th, I forget. And we have to go through each of these committees.
Yeah, Patsy,
So-
just Jessica and I were talking about this today, and just so the process on the city side is it's going to go to a joint meeting of the Land Use and Parks and Rec Committee on October 6th. And
Great.
then assuming it's approved, then we'll go to council on the following Tuesday.
Well, yeah. Tom, is that virtual or in?
It's virtual, yeah.
Okay.
Both are virtual.
Okay. All right. So we're very excited about it. We have been, our staff and their staff have met, I would say, at least 5 or 6 times, working on specifics of what areas they would need to use, and to come up with details on how to protect the flooring and those kind of issues. And actually, Preservation Trust has been involved in some of these discussions too, because we've been talking with them at our job meetings on Monday. So I think you have a proposal in front of you. Yes, Jessica? To
Yep, so the, I think the,
move it. Mhm.
yep, the proposal was to approve the use of the mansion for the Netflix filming. And of course, as Patsy said, the agreement and the contract are still being negotiated. So we will have a term sheet or the contract for review by the Land Use Committee and the Parks and Rec Committee for October the 6th. But for today, we're asking for the approval from the Historical Commission to use the Lockwood Matthews Mansion for that filming.
What rooms are being used?
Mostly the major amount will be in the library and the conservatory. A little bit outside on the front. It's a winter scene out there. And minimally sort of walk through the entrance, obviously, through the rotunda, circling around through the dining room, the salon, and the music room. But the majority of the filming will be actually in the library, in the conservatory. It's a small crew. There are only 2 main characters in the movie.
And is there somebody that can be there to oversee the?
Oh, yeah, that's what's taken us so long with the contracts. We have lots of details. We have to have our staff person there during all filming, where we have a site map that will be part of the contract of which areas that they can use. Last week, Susie and I met with some of their site people to discuss specific furniture. A lot of our furniture will be moved out of the area, and certain items that are large and we prefer that they not be moved. We found mutually acceptable locations to maintain, the safety of our collection. Susie has organized working with a professional furniture mover, packer, that the company will pay for, but we have control of. So there's just been so many specific details down to they need to provide a generator, not to challenge our electrical issues that we have in the building. And that's why much part of our mechanical upgrade system is to get electricity, but it's just going to be on the main floor and in those areas.
Will they redo any rooms or do make any improvement?
No, that it's not like, I don't know if you're remembering the Stafford Wives.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
The Stafford Wives created all of the furniture and the paintings that are in the rotunda. And that was their set, and they left them. And that was part of what the mansion negotiated at the time. They did carpeting in a couple of rooms, and on the grand staircase, they did some window treatments. But we went for dollars in our negotiation rather than and it didn't lend, their needs didn't lend to making any changes, basically. But we are also, our architect, David Scott Parker, has been advising us and talking directly to them on how to protect certain issues within the building. So we spent an enormous amount of time getting this right before we sent out the contracts.
I guess my last question is, Patsy, are you comfortable with it?
Yes, it is going to be very beneficial financially to the mansion if it all goes forward. And it's also going to be beneficial for Norwalk. It will get a lot of press on it. The state, as you know, is very interested in promoting theater productions and movie productions in the state. And So it's a win-win, but we're being very studiously careful of what's happening.
Good, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thanks, Patsy and Tom, for your questions. Are we ready to take a vote on approving this use of the Lockwood Matthews Mansion?
Moved.
And moving it forward to the land use.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 1, 2, 3, 4.
No.
Right.
Move.
Oh, moving.
Second, vote. I
Okay.
move.
I'll
We
second
need a
it.
Second.
Second, thank you. Okay, so now, are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Am I missing? Is that everybody? Because I can't see everybody. I think we're unanimous. Yes, and
Looks like.
Tom doesn't vote here. Is that the thing?
I voted, but I put my hand down, so I thought you got it.
Okay, so that's unanimous for moving it to the land use. Norwalk Historical Commission approves the use of the museum for this Netflix show.
Really, thank you for understanding how we are moving forward with
Yes.
this. And as soon as we can, we'll let you know the details.
Okay.
And Holly just arrived. Let's say hello to Holly. Hiya, Holly.
Hi, Holly. Stop talking about Holly. Okay, so now we'll move back to reports on, and first up is buildings.
I'm going to leave you because I got another in-person meeting at 8. So
Okay,
thank you
Goodbye,
very much.
everyone.
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, buildings. One day we'll have someone other than, I'm assuming David, to report on this.
Sorry about that. Just a couple things going on. We've been restoring the veranda at the mansion, the woodwork. The ceiling, is all done when we reconstructed the roof. We've been doing the posts sort of 2 and 3 and 4 at a time. We're not quite halfway around yet. They did a couple more posts, but they did find some significant rot, and we're gonna have to take part of the moldings that the post that sits on the post apart and rebuild them. That's just finalizing estimates for all of that. Also the door from the conservatory on that same side, which we've actually repaired once. We redid it about 10 years ago. It's pretty much rotted again and is probably going to have to be replaced, which is not going to be inexpensive either. So getting quotes on that and trying to keep that moving along so that we can hopefully in the next year or so finish the porch restoration as we have money. At Mill Hill, we have started work around the barn in the jail to finish out the hardscape project. We are going to have a couple of change orders. We're working on negotiating with the vendor on those. We had used bluestone. We had the city DPW saved a bunch of bluestone curbing for us, which we were going to use around the sidewalks, but I didn't realize that we actually used it all on the ADA ramp going up the side of the hill. So we're going to have to buy granite curbing for that. And then we're also sort of arguing with the contractor over their bid for the construction of the stairway up the side of the hill and how that's going to be built and how much that's going to cost. So we're trying to work those issues out, but I will have probably change orders for you guys to approve at the next meeting. Hopefully we can stay within our 10% contingency, but I am concerned about that. We may have to go back to council to get more funds authorized, which we do have if we need it. I just don't like to go that route because it's never any fun. And then last, most importantly, the city has officially told us that that building management, facilities management will take over the management of all of our buildings officially on July 1st of next year, 2022, with the start of the new budget year, because they're transitioning the maintenance of this 98 South Main, the old neon building, to the YMCA. That's going to free up some of their time, and the outsourcer Guardian that does the actual work thinks that they're hoping that they can absorb it without adding any additional headcount. But we'll have to see about that. But that would be really good news if we didn't have to, spend any more money, but still get the buildings professionally maintained. So I'm trying to set up tours the next couple of weeks with with Guardian and facilities management staff of all of the buildings, so that they can start getting familiar, and they'll start taking over things prior to that. But we've set the official cutoff, handoff as July 1st. So I'm really happy about that. I think the buildings will be, I'm proud of what we've accomplished on our own. We've gotten the buildings, from crisis conditions to manageable conditions. But it'll be good to have the building professionally managed. The museum building was managed by facilities management and Guardian. And when the Historical Society took it over, I asked that facilities management continue to manage the building, which they have done. We've worked, the Historical Society, we've worked very well with Guardian. They do a tremendous job with the building. They're very proactive and, having a maintenance schedule and regularly checking things, that I try to do, but don't always do because I get busy. So I think all in all, they'll do a much better job of managing the buildings on an ongoing basis. We will still work with them to plan and budget capital improvement projects, and we will still go to the city and the council with capital budget proposals, and we will defend them as we do now and get money. But they'll actually manage those projects along with managing the day-to-day operations of the building. So that it's good news as far as I'm concerned. I think everybody will be happy with it. So that's my report.
Thanks, David.
Sure.
And it's all been you doing all that work. So we're all giving you a pat on the back virtually.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I've enjoyed doing it. It hasn't, it's been a lot of work, frankly, but I've enjoyed it. But I'm happy to move on. Yes.
So next is cemeteries. I did a tour after the second monsoon. We have one dead tree at Brookside. Who do I call about that, David?
Ken Hughes.
Okay, him Hughes. Okay.
Yeah, you can just email him. He'll get to it. I know he's very, very busy.
Right.
There's the big spruce tree next to the townhouse to the right of the townhouse looks very, very bad, and I think we're gonna have to take that out. But he's the official tree warden for our property, so
right.
he has to look at it and make a determination. So I'm waiting to hear from him on that too.
I'm also wondering about there's a big, I don't know if you saw my email about the mulberry tree is split at Pine Island, also called Ken Hughes, but that's kind of a very fragile extraction there. How should we go about that?
Is that one of the two? There's
Yeah.
two right together. It's one of those big old ones.
One of those two, and it's split. It was sagging a lot. It's absorbed a lot of water, but it's definitely split. I've been watching it over the years, so.
I'll take a look at it next time I see
Yeah.
it. We should tag it and
did
ask him to
tag
look at it.
This one part of it, but I guess the whole tree would have to come down. I don't think you
can't. Yeah,
Yeah,
and if you're
okay,
going
so
to do
it is-
any work, you should just take it out.
Yeah, it is tagged now, and that cherry tree towards the ramp is also, maybe that could use some work, but that's in a pretty fragile area historically for the headstones there.
Yeah, mulberries, once they tend to fall apart. So once they start to break like that, it's not worth trying to save it.
Right.
They're pretty weak wooded.
My other question was, Reed Cemetery has gotten a little beyond our mowing capabilities, I think, but should we have Brian Bruni in Rowayton. Should we have him go up there, or how do you want to do that? It's gotten rather, kind of thigh-high grass and poison ivy and stuff and saplings, so got out of hand pretty quick.
Yeah, I just never go up there. It's so far out of my sphere of the world.
Right.
Yeah, is that somebody that can do it?
Yeah, I think it's like $150, so he's pretty reasonable. So
Do you take credit cards?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, we have a city credit card, so
Okay.
I mean, seriously, it's
He won't
easy.
take credit cards.
Oh, he doesn't? Okay.
No.
Yeah, Tom uses him for his house, so.
Well, would he take? The problem with getting the city to pay him is that he has to provide a W-9. He has to get in the system.
Oh.
And it takes him 3 weeks to pay.
Yeah, I think that's beyond his.
Yeah, I think that may be asking too much.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark has expressed interest in helping out up there. So again, it might take a little crew of us to get up there one day. But anyway, that's everything. I think Mr. Harrington must be doing Brookside, not Brookside, Kellogg is looking very good. Other than that, everything looks okay for the cemeteries. So that's my report. Holly, anything you want to add, or you still here? Where'd Holly go? There's Holly. Yeah, that's it for cemeteries. And yes, the road right next to Brookside, the bridge is out, so that's a little bit of a dead end unless you park and walk over, which is what I've been doing. So next up is financial. Can we get Suzanne to move back down here? No.
There's really nothing to report. I mean, we have a new budget and we're well under budget in every category, so we're fine.
Okay. So on to old business. Have we read our revised demolition delay? I think there was 3 versions. This is the 8.3 version. We were thinking of keeping it simple. How much have we added to this ordinance word-wise?
So I went through the ordinance and switched out anywhere it said 120 days to 180 days.
Mhm.
And then at our last meeting, Todd Bryant suggested a few definitions to be added to it regarding demolition and kind of clarifying what those mean in order to kind of align with the state's definition of these items. So I added those as well.
Right.
And then those are the only changes.
Okay. I mean, it's still basic. It's basically 3 pages, so it's not too crazy, but has anyone had a chance to look at this? I mean, it seems like they're really ramping up we haven't looked, there's not anything historically, but things are ramping up in the tear down department around here. So we do want to get this on the docket for November, I think, is it, Tom? Would that be when it would be voted on?
No. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's in it, I think I've raised it with the chair. I think you'll have to expect, it may be first brought before the ordinance committee in November or December.
Okay,
That means there's a couple meetings.
that's, okay,
But, you know, as I mentioned in prior meetings, you're going to need to present a comparison with other jurisdictions.
right. And I know we.
And I
did-
can work with you on that stuff.
Right, we have done that in the past. I know Eric, Lisa, and Suzanne were on that group. So we need to look at what we did before as well. Hopefully we have, I don't have that in any logical place, but we did look at other towns about that. So do you think we could vote on that tonight, Tom, or do we need to?
Well, you can vote on it. I think it's the commission's, the council's not going to look at it before November.
Right.
How do I say this? It's I don't know how much of a hot button this is going to be. I just don't know.
Well, so Tom, isn't the process with the ordinance committee? We refer it to them, they'll look at it, they'll ask for clarifications and changes. It'll then go to another meeting where they'll look at it again. And then the committee will vote to hold a public hearing. They do a public hearing and then it goes to council. So, I mean, it's a long drawn out process.
Yeah, it's at least 3 months.
Yeah. And that's on a good day.
Yeah. And it depends how much
year.
People care about this, honestly.
Mm.
I mean, but I think
They'll be developed. Some developers will come out, not the big developers probably, but there'll be some mom and pops and a few others, will come out most likely. I would guess that's what happened last time we changed it.
Dana, to your point, I don't think you have to vote on it tonight if you're going to present it, but if you want to, you can. I think when you do present it to your ordinance committee, I think you'll need to present it and explain it and so forth. And as David said, to be one meeting to consider it, then look at it, make changes that meeting or the following meeting, and then go to public hearing. So there's a little time yet.
Okay,
So in that case, can we get an existing draft to look at before our next meeting?
I did receive, Laura, did you just send that to me or?
I think I sent it to all the commissioners. It was so long ago though, because we didn't have
Okay.
an August meeting that people
Right,
might not have seen it in a while. I could be incorrect about this, but I was told that in order to bring it to the ordinance committee, historical commission would need to vote on it first. I don't know if that's accurate.
That's true. And then refer it, but I'm saying they don't need to do it because the ordinance committee is not going to pick it up before November, if at all. I mean, if November.
Okay.
I mean, right now, the ordinance agenda is very busy.
all right.
So,
Yeah, Laura, I see this is dated 8/3, so that's when there was the original and then a couple, 2 or 3 versions came after that with slight alterations or edits. So that I could just send that out again. Another thing, I'm just throwing this out here. What about, this is not to do with demolition delay, but whether the historical commission has any say on view sheds. I know this has been kind of chipping away at the city. We probably lost most of East Avenue to buildings. And especially now, if you've driven down McKinley Street, we've got a big building going up where a parking lot used to be. That's now, it's going to look kind of like a dead end. Is this something we want to consider, or is this something we consider as a historic? I think that is something historic view sheds are considered for certain districts, maybe in the National Park Service.
so the city is in the process of rewriting its zoning ordinances.
Right.
And I think, input from the commission on that subject will be really important.
Okay,
I think the commission should weigh in on that.
Is that what, that's what the charrette is?
Yeah, there've been charrettes. I mean, I don't want to get into the whole legal analysis here, but if you,
Right.
if you start telling people they can't build, 'cause you want to preserve a view, you may have to compensate them for that. But
Right.
that's a whole other subject. I mean, we can talk about that separately. Not to say we shouldn't make the comment, because I think it's important, particularly on the waterfront.
Right. I mean, they are giving us a walkway, but that was for something someone else recommended years ago, but, and if any of you have done, I think there's a few more charrettes coming up,
Yeah.
planning with,
I actually think they may be about over with.
okay, I think there's one tomorrow,
Yeah, there's one tomorrow, and that may be the
maybe
last one.
Monday.
Yeah, I don't know, but people should go on to, I can see if I can find the link while we're,
I should send the, it's a little bit squirrely on signing up, but I have a good live sign up thing for that.
you have it, Dana, there, you can send it around. I think
Yeah.
that'd be helpful. But just in terms of the demolition ordinance, I think the process ought to be that you send out the proposed ordinance and then in the packets for the next meeting and have a full discussion and then vote on the ordinance as proposed. Or with amendments, if there are any, but, and then,
Right,
but I think it ought to be in the materials that go out to the commission.
okay. Yeah, there was a little gap there, so I guess we're all busy having fun in August.
Well, no, I mean, just
Yeah.
the point is that you're a public commission, so it has to go out with the official public notice.
Oh, yes, right. Okay, and I'll talk with Laura about that. I mean, this is, yeah, how to line that up, etc. Okay,
And Dana, on your view shed issue, I would just suggest as the Historical Commission Chairman, you just send an email to Kleppen,
okay,
copy Laura, and express your concerns and say you'd like this considered in the zoning rewrite, and
right,
let them take it. I don't think you have to worry about charrettes and all that stuff.
right, okay. So we'll do that next month, October, for demolition, etc. Now, next up on old business is Whistleville Historic District launch. And Laura is going to update us.
Sure. So I had kind of a tough time getting in touch with the state about, they had originally offered to host a meeting with the Whistleville community to kind of inform them on the benefits of becoming a registered district. And so I finally was able to get in touch with them, and they responded saying they would be willing to do it virtually sometime in October. So I don't know if you guys want to do that at the October meeting, or if you want to have a separate meeting where we invite, either way, we should invite anyone in a historic district, or really invite the whole town. But they've asked that we send over some dates for when we might be available to do that.
I think that what needs to happen is that there needs to be a meeting down somewhere on Lexington Avenue, probably you can probably get that same church we used for the original. We had a bunch of meetings down there on all this anyway, years ago. And where because then the community is going to show up. They're not, they're not going to, I think it's going to be hard to reach people through Zoom and all that. I think it needs to be on site in person whenever that can be. And I realize that might be hard for state people, but it's their job. They're going to have to come down. But we can help get a space down on Lexington Avenue. I have contacts, but yeah, I think you got to do that in person.
Yeah.
Particularly for this community.
Okay. I'll write back and tell them that. And then I think it depends a little, of course, it depends on their availability. But then I think the last I heard, the city wanted us to continue to have virtual meetings. That's why the zoning charrette is virtual. So that, yeah, we might have to just hold off on that until the guidance changes. The other item related to Whistleville is that I got an email from Josh Morgan today in the mayor's office, who said that our press release about Whistleville was picked up by a magazine. I don't know what magazine, but they would like to write an article about it and are looking for photos to accompany the article. So if any of you have really good pictures of the area, please send them to me sooner than later. I'd love to get them to him by Friday.
Do you guys think John Kurtzman might have some?
I know Todd was mentioned in an email. He had some.
Kurtzman done that whole book.
Todd did the National Register nomination, and you have to supply pictures with that. So he should have a bunch of pictures, I would think.
Right. Whether John has some vintage ones is quite maybe possible.
Well, the man did write the book.
That's true. Yeah.
You could just call Lynn Hildebrand at the history room at the library, and I'm sure they have some, and she can get them for you. They probably already have them digitized.
Okay.
Because they can scan most everything.
Right.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Oh, so yeah, certified local government is the next thing.
Yes. So kind of along the same lines, I had been emailing the state a lot in hopes of getting the application link. The application link on the state website wasn't working, so I wasn't able to start it without the link. So luckily they were really helpful, and they sent over not only the application materials, but also an example sample application. So I sent those out to everyone on the commission to view. And what I'm hoping is there was one page of that's a checklist, and I'm hoping anyone could go through that and just see if you have any of the materials they're looking for available for me to compile. Some things included like a historic resources plan, if the town has one, or a list of our historic resources. One thing that I'll need from each commissioner is a resume. We talked about this during the last meeting. You don't need to be like a professional historian or anything, though it's great if you are. Instead, just, anytime you volunteered on anything related to Norwalk or history outside of Norwalk generally, if you were a history major in college, that definitely counts. So kind of anything you can pull from, I think they're open to. And if you could send that over, because that is a requirement of the application.
You still have the one I sent you?
Yes, thank you.
All right.
And it must be on sheepskin. Just kidding. When did you send that? I've been trying to.
A few
I
weeks
got
ago.
it. Yeah, I think I received it a week or two ago, and then I quickly sent it to everyone on the commission. So I can send it again though.
Yeah, because I lost a bunch of mail last week. I think my mailbox was full. I didn't get a few days worth of mail.
Sure, yeah.
Okay,
No worries.
thanks. So that's that. So new business, we're on to demolition delay notices since the last meeting. I think we've seen a few that nothing was pressing historic wise. 8 Farm Creek is a cape. What else? I'm not sure what the status of 1 Old King's Highway is. I think the state was involved with that.
Check it in. Open house is done, so all are familiar.
That I'm hearing a little voice. Anyone else notice any unusual demolition delay things. I don't think I've seen anything scary out there.
I think the only one that, so we've been really lucky in the sense that Bill Ireland kind of heard when I asked that he send us the notices, and Steve's been working on like sending them as well. So we've gotten a few, and I've emailed them all to you, and the only one that anyone wrote back about with concern was Old Kings Highway.
Right.
So with that one, I think Todd Bryant was pretty involved in the initial demo delay, which then went to the state, and the state couldn't determine what to do, so they were going to refer to the Attorney General. And when that happened, the applicant withdrew their demolition permit. And then they decided they're going to put a new one in. And so I'm not sure if it will go through the state historic department and then the AG, or if it goes right to the AG, since it's a little bit of a, a unique back and forth. But that's where that stands at the moment.
So by resubmitting, you mean a new demo plan or a new demo permit, or what was it? What's being resubmitted?
A new demo permit. So they understand that they'll have to wait 120 days. But I'm not sure if it goes right to the Attorney General or through the state hearing, this lower historical society hearing, which is what, as far as it got last time. I think the complications there are that an engineer has said that the building is structurally sound, and so a demolition might not be viable for the applicant. But they, would like to change certain things about the building, and so they're trying to figure out how they can do that, and the state's trying to figure out how they can keep the building. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff going on in the background for this one, so we have to keep our eye on that. Just to keep the whole character of that Silvermine, part of Silvermine together would be nice.
I think the state noted that it is a contributing resource in the Silvermine district, so that kind of adds another element to it.
Okay. So I think we've covered everything tonight. Any other comments or questions from anyone? Okay, let's have a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Eric, and anyone else raising their hand? Oh, Tom.
Second.
That third. Okay, we got plenty of all in favor of adjourning.
Aye.
Not that I don't
Aye.
love all
I
you
think-
guys,
Yeah,
but
I think that's 100%. Not that that matters. And see you all next month.
All
Okay.
right, good night.
Not sooner. Good
be
night.
well, stay
Good
safe.
night, everyone.
Bye bye.